hello. How is it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Hope everyone's having a fantastic Thursday. Thursday, it's Saturday. Good job. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. Football is back. There's some nice games also happening. Some games have also finished with very mixed results. Very, in a way, I wouldn't say unpredicted results, but a bit shocking results where it kind of favors Arsenal for this weekend specifically, which obviously in terms overall is a very good thing. There's some news on front of Bukayo Saka, there's some news on front of Yuri and Zimmer potentially playing, some mini Arsenal comments and stuff like that, but today, ultimately I decided to do something different. As you know, this is solely an Arsenal channel where I only talk about Arsenal, and since I'm an Arsenal fan and all that good stuff, but today I decided to do the table we're playing today. Oh my god, my mic literally turned off. I'm very sorry. Oh my goodness gracious, my mic just went blank. Thank you, coach. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, that was an awkward start to the stream. I would assume so because I genuinely didn't even notice that. My bad, my bad, my bad, my bad. Oh boy, this will be a very rough start to the stream. But yeah, where were we? We were talking about center back pairings. Besides Timber, Timber, who cares? Besides Saliban, Gabriel, we haven't seen any other center back pairing at Arsenal whatsoever in recent times. So the big question is how it could go, how this will look, how could it look in the team, will they have good partnership and everything? Because at the moment that is the biggest question mark. Because if Timber plays, most likely he should be playing center back. No, Timber should be playing right back to play against Diaz. I would put it that way. That is the big question. Could it happen? Could it not? Because Saka apparently will be available for tomorrow. Apparently Sam has Sam C, whatever Sam C reports. Where was he? He apparently tweeted out that Saka should be available for tomorrow. If I could see it. Understand Bukayo Saka completed some but not all Arsenal training sessions this week as they prepare to face Liverpool tomorrow. TBC tomorrow with his role to be continued tomorrow, if any, in the game. Apparently he actually might be available for tomorrow. That is the best news we could get at the moment. That Bukayo Saka should be available for tomorrow. Apparently, what's its face? Timba is big question marks, and I don't think he will be playing tomorrow as well. Watching Fulham and Everton, Kenny Tete, a proper fullback, not inverted nonsense. He could reek Robinson. Exactly, that is the big thing. We have a proper fullback in our team. He is called Kieran Tierney. Obviously, he's injured at the moment, but Mikel Arteta wants this inverted nonsense. By the way, coach, I haven't seen you speak those words for a bit, for quite some time, to be honest, or ever even. None of this inverted nonsense. Because most of the people I see, on at least on stream definitely, they don't care. They like the inverted thing. I don't think I have seen you saying that the inverted thing is a nonsense at the moment. But for me, definitely we need a proper fullback who overlaps, who can cross a ball, who plays wide and other than inverts. And that for Arsenal is very big issue at the moment. We had that, Arteta didn't like him, so we have inverted type of thing. So it is what it is, but for me, yeah, Tete is playing very good. He's an out-and-out right back. I remember him for Lyon, how he clamped up Kylian Mbappe. That was brilliant to watch, like some seasons ago. That was fantastic, to be honest, incredible. So there is a player there if he can play properly. So definitely that is a good part on his end. And I like these old school type. I don't need these inverted type of things. Why why these days so much focus is kind of being put on certain aspects of the game which should not be a thing? It's kind of weird because as soon as Pep started invert, everyone starts to invert. It's just stupid. Just play your style. That is the big thing. For me, the best way to beat Pep is not playing Pep's style. Issue is Arteta plays very similar to Pep. That for me is the big issue. And that's why I strongly don't believe Arteta will win anything this season if he comes up against Pep. Yes, we have beaten Man City on occasion. Community Shield, obviously lucky goal, but still beat them. In Premier League last year, obviously lucky goal, but still beat them and everything. But overall, long term, it just won't work. And especially if we face them in some sort of a final or something like that, let's be real. Pep has the know-how. He will know how to clamp everyone up. When it matters the most, City knows how to step up. And the biggest thing at City at the moment is they just won against Southampton 1-0, right? City won against Southampton 1-0. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. Man City won against Southampton 1-0. It seems like it's only 1-0, but overall it should have been like 5-6-0. And the biggest thing is City are not playing great. They are not finishing most of their chances, yet at the same time they are doing very good job just to getting by. Basically just to get it over the line and move on. Because over the years we all know what City is all about. They get it over the line when it doesn't matter, and when it matters they just switch on and they never look back and just steamroll everyone pretty much. And that is for me a big worry because City already are winning points. Last season they were dropping points here or there. At the moment it's the only team in Premier League who hasn't lost a game still. and they are racking up points left, right, and center. Depending on tomorrow's game, they could be first or second in the table. So it is a bit of a one. It is a bit of an iffy one in that regard. After all the cat and mouse about Saka ifs, maybe imagine he plays and we still lose. That is the big thing. We all want Saka to play. We all want him to play just so we have a chance. Last year we played one big game. It was against City without Bukayo Saka, and we won that game. Again, lucky goal from Martinelli, but we won. So it's possible to win also without Bukayo Saka. The thing is though, we haven't been. Last year we were not in a situation where we have billion injuries. Our whole defensive line pretty much is in a hospital. One of our main defenders is suspended, and our two best creative players in the team are both injured. We were not in that position last year. Last year we skipped past through every single injury imaginable to our main guys. Yes, Zinchenko got injured, Partey wasn't there, Tomiyasu got injured, Jesus got injured, but those are the usual suspects who you expect to be injured. Also, Timber didn't play whole season, and we didn't look back since. This season, however, Odegaard out for a few months. Saka all of a sudden is missing. We get a 1 game ban for William Saliba. Timber, he comes back, sets world on fire, gets injured again. Calafiori, new signing, comes in, is injured, gets injured multiple times. Merino signed, instantly gets injured. White gets injured. All of a sudden, our players are dropping like flies. And I think it's kind of balancing each other out from last year. Could be the overplaying them and everything. It kind of could come, kind of basically adds up. Yin and yang, that type of thing. One season without injuries, other one we could see a bit more. But yeah, it's not looking great. Last season we had some advantages in that regard, and we should have won the league. And this season we could pay the price for not taking our arguably another big chance last year. That could be the case. That genuinely could be the case in my opinion. But Man City, they just got it by. They should have won. They won the game 1-0. It should have been 4-5-0. Haaland should have been on a hat-trick pretty much. That game was pretty much almost never in doubt. Plus, on top of that, there was a chance for Southampton to go out 1-on-1. They hit the bar, and I think actually it's in the benefit on Southampton that they didn't score, because they won 1-0. It seems more respectable when you look on the paper. If they scored that goal and made it 1-1, it would have been about 6-7-1 Man City, because that would have pissed them off. Because one thing, if you know at Etihad, especially against Man City, if you want to win or draw a game, don't score early first. Because unless you are a Real Madrid, even Arsenal to a certain extent, one of the big teams, they will steamroll you 99 out of 100 times. So that is also a big thing in a way. I think reason why we are playing inverted is to overload the midfield. It's because our midfielders are average. You wouldn't need to invert with Tchouameni, Musiala, and Verts. They can... Exactly! Carlo Ancelotti doesn't invert. He has a midfield of... Pick your poison. Let's just say... Tchouameni, Valverde, Modric. Tchouameni, Camavinga, Valverde. Even Ceballos, Camavinga, Tchouameni. He has midfielders who can do the job. Obviously, Ceballos not the best example, but you'll get the point, I would assume so. They have midfielders who are good enough to do the job on their own, and they need no babysitting from other positions. For us, it's a big issue. Their midfield, for example, in Real Madrid, they have strength, athleticism, pace in their legs, technical ability and passing ability and shooting ability, pretty much the highest quality depending on a player you look at. They pretty much balance each other out perfectly, not including even Jude Bellingham in that, although he has had mostly very mediocre performances, but he scores when they need to, right? At the same time, when you look at Arsenal, there is much more left to be desired than there actually is there on the table for Arsenal. That is the big thing. Because remember, when we have Zinchenko, Kivior, or whoever at left back, Gabriel defends for two people. He defends for himself and for the left back. We've seen it on multiple occasions, how he screams at the left back, how he comes over to the left back, and that means there are gaps in the center park, and Saliba has to partially do the job on his own, especially if Partey and Rice haven't tracked back and they are not sitting in front of the box. And that is a big issue. Big issue for Arsenal. We have some players who can do the job alone. Gabriel, Saliba, okay, cool. To some extent, White. Timber for sure can when he's not injured. Rest of the players in defensive line, they need support from other players. Obviously, it's a team game and everything, but at some point you need to be able to do the job one-on-one. And the chances are, more often than not, our players just come up short because they're not good enough. And that is the so-called fixed bench, good players that everyone wants, yet we want to sell them, nobody wants them. It's very, very rough. It's very rough out there. Thinking City played poor versus Saints, zero meltdown from their fans if they exist. Well, they exist, let's be real, they exist. But how come City will get praise? We came from a goal down versus Leicester to win and people said lucky double stand. Yes, you can look at it that way. The thing is, Man City fans will 1-0 win. They had about 50 chances, they took only one. They won't have a meltdown because for the last 4 or 5 years, when we have seen City play and win the titles, they start season very questionable. Very slow, very slowly. They basically win games not convincingly, but with a matter of luck. With certain instances, with one lucky goal. Sometimes it's 3-2 stink out win, 1-0 stink out win, 2-1 stink out win. But they get the job done over the line. And everyone knows that there will come a point when all this Man City team, everything will come together, and when it matters the most in the second part of the season, they will click into gear. And they will basically go from the second or third gear straight into fifth, into sixth, and start basically shutting everyone out and winning games left, right, and center with no questions asked. That is the thing that Man City has. They have proven they can do it over and over again. For Arsenal, we don't have that luxury because we have had chances to go and win it. 8 points ahead, we could have won it last year. We had the ability, we had the chance, but we always managed to ball it. And it was also before we were fighting for the title. We had a chance to get top 4 when we balled it to Spurs and finished 5th. It's always like that. Even in Wenger days, we had a chance to win the league when we were playing against Leicester. When Leicester won the league, sorry. We were the only team that season in Premier League who beat Leicester City away and at home. We had the chance, yet again, Giroud decides he doesn't want to score for like 15-20 games, and we just don't win. We have had chances. The issue is we have never taken them. We always come short. It feels like when we get to these situations, we just panic and we basically let it slip away. That's how I see it all the time. Our fans are too egocentric and critical. Some fans can just think we are entitled to win every game playing champagne football. True, to be honest, I don't care if we win a game 6-0 or we win it 1-0, right? Only we matters that we get the 3 points. The issue though with this, although I say this at the moment, comes with the fact that it depends also on the performance. If we are winning 1-0, we stink out the game, it should be a convincing stink out, where we shut out the team and we don't ride our luck to the maximum extent to get the 3 points. If we win a champagne football, we score countless goals and we look very exciting doing it. Either or. There cannot be the case where we win 1-0 and basically it should have been 3-1 to the other team. We should be convincing in both aspects. For me, Arsenal should be winning against teams like Bournemouth. Without shadow of doubt, we should be winning against them. Yet we played like we were a championship side. We had pretty much no chance to winning that game. Didn't see any desire and will to win that game. And that indeed has been every single game. Every single game, besides, I would say, PSG game and Man City game when we played with 10 men, we were very questionable. We were awful, to be honest. And that was also the handprint last season. We were playing very, very rough football. We were playing very rough football, and it showed. We drew against Fulham. We went 1-7 with all of our best players more or less available in December, and until we had that Dubai break, something changed then. Something genuinely changed then, and we saw how it went in the second part of the season. At the moment, we don't have a Dubai break to maybe reflect on things, to change the things, to look in things from other perspective. We just have to go with the flow. Because season at the moment won't stop. It will go all the time, with Champions League being extended till the end of January and everything. And for me, the game against Bournemouth was a game where basically the result caught up to performances, because we had this blueprint against Aston Villa. We should have lost that game, but we somehow won it. We had that against Southampton. We went first, 1-0 down. We had to get punched in the face to actually try and play some football. It happened against Leicester. We were 2-0 up. We got complacent. It was 2-2. And then we had to basically push ourselves to the max in the last seconds pretty much to get the win. And it was also before that. It was in countless games. It's a very thin line in those instances when we speak about these things. But when we speak about Man City have the know-how. Arsenal don't, and that is, I think, the biggest difference. They have the winners, they have the experience, and they have the thing that in the right time they know how to do it. Arsenal don't have that luxury to maybe sometimes just take a step back, look at things, and say, yes, this was wrong and we need to reset. We don't have that at the moment. If Arsenal played the exact game versus Saints, there would be a Milton saying, "How can we score?" Sticking to your point, we got the job against Shakhtar, but people, that's the thing. If we played we played against Shakhtar, against Southampton the same way. The thing is though, against Southampton we had to go 1-0 down to score a goal and win the game. The issue with me with Shakhtar game is the fact that we scored a very lucky goal. Yes, there were some half chances where they cleared it before Havertz could head it in. But overall, we didn't have like a clear-cut out-and-out chance to more or less score a goal. We didn't have that. That was the big issue. Because if on one counter, which they had quite a few of them, they managed to score. In 89th minute, they had a shot from outside the box where Raya had to make a full stretch save. If that goes in, it's a 1-1 game. It wouldn't be 2-1 Arsenal at the end of the game. We wouldn't score that second goal. We had one chance against Bournemouth to score. If Martinelli doesn't score that, if he scores that, by the way, it's a completely different game. He doesn't score it, instantly they make it 1-0, and then it make it 2-0. That was our only main chance we scored. That's also a thing. That is the big question. For me, I see Arsenal fans looking at this game very differently. Everyone has a different outlook on this game, the way I see it. But it's the thing that many Arsenal fans, from what I'm seeing, are saying, I'm not as much scared from Liverpool, but I am more scared of Arsenal. That's what many fans I have seen saying. Basically meaning that we know what Liverpool is all about. But with Arsenal in the situation we are at the moment, we have no idea what kind of Arsenal can turn up and can be put on the pitch. With injuries in the defensive line, with insufficiencies in attack, with Jesus and Sterling just being basically a lamppost on the pitch, and everything, our midfield being very unbalanced, nobody knows what kind of Arsenal we will put out. It will be a struggle. But for me, I much rather would see us just going for it, because we are at home, we are playing at Emirates. If we are going for the title and everything, I much rather go for the win rather than just park the bus and sit and hope for a draw and try and hit them on a counter. Because for me, looking at that game, it would be very disappointing as an Arsenal fan just to sit back and just hope for the best, basically, in that regard. Because Man City wouldn't do it, Liverpool wouldn't do it. When have you seen pretty much Liverpool sit back, park the bus at Anfield? When Man City parks the bus? Almost never. Obviously, we have to play to our strengths at the moment, the ones we have, if we have any in this regard. But at the same time, I much rather see us go for it and maybe lose 2-1 or win 2-1. Much rather than we park the bus, we maybe manage to withhold out till 89th minute, like it was against City, and then we concede in 90th minute, and we basically cannot do anything about it anymore. Because if Arteta parks the bus and it's getting closer and closer to the 90th minute with 0-0, I can see Arteta subbing off one of the attackers and putting another defender on. Maybe a holding midfielder extra one on. Just so we pack the midfield, pack the team, and not give them any space to maybe play the ball and try and score. I much rather just set the team up in a way that we just go for it. In that instance. That is the big case. I have no idea. Yeah, that know-how is the know-how is a big thing. Versus Shakhtar, a much weakened team. Wait till everyone is healthy and we starting slow like City. We will click into gear. You'd say it's context against Shakhtar, much weakened team and everything. The thing is though, we pretty much played the same team against Bournemouth. It wasn't a big difference. We even had Saliba on full 11 men against Shakhtar, and it wasn't looking great. Yes, we had the possession at times and everything. Most of it we were trying to create. We scored a lucky goal, a deflection that you don't see too often. But besides that, Havertz had a chance maybe to head it in before he cleared off the line. But besides that, that's it. That's the big thing. That's it. Big up BX Gunner in the chat. Ideal 11 in a game like this if everyone's fit. Raya, White, Gabriel, Saliba, Timber, Rice, Partey, Odegaard, Martinelli, Havertz, Saka. Yeah, but that's context. That's all the what ifs. But we shouldn't be sitting here and saying, what if he was healthy? What if he was there? What if we had that? What if? What if my nan had wheels? She would be a train. That's the same thing. What if I had $1 million? I wouldn't be working right now. Like, these what ifs, you cannot say you live in a world of what ifs. We can only go with what we have at the moment. That's the same thing. That's the same thing as we are talking about. I do it as well. What if Trossard scores against West Ham and it's 1-0 Arsenal, not 2-0 West Ham, we lose the game? What if that one post goes in for Arsenal when they have hit it and we win the game 3-2 instead of drawing 2-2? We win the league last year. It's all the what ifs. We are basically living off what ifs all over the time. That's the thing also, that we don't have the depth in the team. Let's be real. We don't have the depth. The big thing is, last year, our depth wasn't tested as much in the team. Because Arteta is very predictable and he played more or less the same starting 11 almost every single game. And none of them got injured. And we basically, if you don't pay attention to that too much, you basically brush it aside and take it as a normality. You take it as a normal, understandable, everyday thing. But at the moment at Arsenal, when we have these injuries, our bench depth is tested. And we don't have that depth. We don't have that quality coming off the bench to replace our starting players to the same level. And now all of a sudden people are saying, what if he wasn't injured? What if he was here? What if we did that? And what if we do this? But when it's all fine and dandy, nobody thinks about it. Obviously winning games is great, despite the performance, because many times when Arsenal have won this year, basically result has painted over the cracks of the game we have played, and basically you could say about many games, just take the 3 points and forget about the game, because that performance wasn't just good enough. We just got lucky that we got the 3 points. But at some point this luck has to run out, and one of those games was against Bournemouth, unfortunately, at the most unopportunistic time. When we needed 3 points the most, we just couldn't get it done. Because at the moment after this Liverpool game, we have 4 away games in a row. We play against Preston, which must be a win, let's be real. Then we go away to Newcastle, then we fly away to Italy to San Siro, and then we fly back and we play Chelsea away. We have 4 away games before the next international break. And with the injuries we have at the moment, unless Saka can come back, Timber is back, it's looking very, very rough. Calafiori is not going to be here. Odegaard is also most likely not going to be here. It's going to be a very rough ride. Very rough ride, to say the least. Don't concede in first 20 minutes, West. That is also a big thing. If we manage to maybe withstand the first 15-20 minutes, this game will easily sell down. Because we had this as well against... it was against... Who was it against? It was against City, away. For the first 15-20 minutes, we were all over the place. We didn't know what was going on until we grew into the game. And we cannot afford to have these what is happening moments, where am I situations whatsoever. Especially against City away, at City at home, Liverpool at Anfield, Liverpool at home. With the team we have at the moment, we need to be locked on in the first few seconds instantly. Because remember what happened last year? No, it was 2 years against Bournemouth when Billing scored in the 30th second. and we were struggling with when we needed Nelson to score the winning goal in 95th minute. We cannot afford to have those situations. For us, big issue for Arsenal many times has been we are not locked in the first minutes of the game, and we can see the early goals. Obviously, recently it hasn't been as big of a problem, but with a team that hasn't got they haven't played much together, we need to be locked on since the beginning. And with the new defensive line we will play tomorrow, we need to be locked on since first second. We cannot have any lapses. We don't have the quality, that big for quality, to bail us out, because if we had Saliba there, Gabriel, Timber, White, you could say their own individual ability could bail us out to at certain instances. But at the moment, if we play even Kivior there, whoever, we don't have that anymore. We don't have that individual brilliance. Our best defender will be Gabriel in that team. So it will be a very rough thing. I'm saying it's not all doom and gloom, bro, but we shouldn't be... Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not saying I'm not confident for tomorrow. At the same time, I'm very cautious for tomorrow. I'm not expecting big things from tomorrow. Let's just put it that way. Because the way I look at tomorrow's game, for me, it's we need to get points from tomorrow's game minimum. At least. With the team we have, obviously we're playing at home. We haven't lost to Liverpool 4 games in a row. 2 wins, 2 draws. Obviously the draws are at Anfield. Both wins are at Emirates. In the league at least. So I'm definitely looking at this game as in that retrospect with a positive light. Yet at the same time, I'm cautious with Arsenal how they're gonna play. I'm hoping they just don't sit deep. I don't want to see the low block. That is for me the big thing. I don't want to see the low block. That for me, I think that could be the worst thing we can do, to be honest. Playing the low block at the moment. Obviously we cannot give them spaces, give them places to run into. We cannot leave gaps. But I think playing the low block against Liverpool could be even worse. To some extent. We don't do that too often as well. The problem is Arteta needs to give the academy players games, so when they called up, then they're settled in. Same like with Nelson and Eddie, and start 2 games, bench 7, can't expect bench 2 impact when they... Exactly, that is also a thing. Same goes for Ranieri, Nelson, Eddie, Smith-Rowe, Skelly even. You cannot expect them to maybe when it's needed to get subbed on, even in 80th minute, and for the last 10 minutes, 85th minute, for the last 5 minutes, for them to come on and play on a very good level, be locked in. If you play them for 2 games, even as a sub for 15-20 minutes each game, and then they don't see the pitch for 7 games, 10 games. Same goes for Trossard. Remember Trossard last season before? He scores goal, he got 2 assists in a game, then he doesn't play for next 3-4 games. Then again he puts him on the pitch as a sub or a starter, he again scores or assists, and again he sits on the bench for the next 5 games. Like, you cannot have that inconsistency in the team. You either play them so they can be ready and in the form, or you just sell them and don't play at all. Like, it's either or. You cannot have cake and eat it too, basically. No, I'm not being cautious in that regard. Come on, man. I am going for it. I'm just cautious in terms of the team selection. Because for me, the cautious part in this is what team he selects. Team selection pretty much will show a way we will play. In my opinion. That will show how Arsenal are set up. For me, the cautious part is the first 10 to 20 minutes. Just so we don't concede. After that, we can go for it. Because if we come out guns blazing in the first minute, it could do more harm than good. Obviously, it could do more good as well. I want us to go for it tomorrow. I much rather see us go for it and go down fighting than park the bus and have a heartbreak in the last minute of the game. Let's just put it that way. I'm just cautious overall because at the moment, with Arsenal, I'm in a mind space where I have no idea what's gonna happen. That's why I'm cautious. I have no idea what to expect at the moment. Because when everyone's not injured, everyone's healthy, everyone's fine and dandy, I know what to expect from Arsenal. More or less 95% of the time. At the moment, with the injuries, suspensions and all that stuff, I have no idea what to expect. And that's why I'm being cautious a bit. Sterling factor, former club. hasn't shown anything at the moment to kind of justify that, not gonna lie. Okay, so cautious about team selection due to injuries, but yeah, exactly. I don't know what to expect from the team at the moment. That's why I'm cautious. Yet at the same time, I want to go for it. It makes perfect sense. That, for me, it makes perfect sense. Because every single top gunner needs context to everything. How about have your own proper context at times? I'm cautious with the team selection. Because I don't know what Arteta will select. But no matter what, I don't want to see us playing low block. Park the bus and everything. That's my cautious side talking. I am expecting Arteta to completely say, we're gonna play from the defensive side of the pitch. We're gonna play defensively first. That's the cautious part in me. Realistic part in me saying the one that I want to see is just go for it. Obviously, in that regard, it all depends on Arteta basically. Anyways, City won obviously, but the big part in this is, in Premier League table terms, in the Premier League table, the big part is that Brighton drew 2-2 against Wolves and Aston Villa managed to draw against Bournemouth 1-1, which is actually good news for Arsenal in this overall regard. Because mostly, if you look at things, if Villa and Brighton won, Arsenal wouldn't be sitting where they are at the moment. Arsenal would be... you don't even can see it, can you? Yeah, it's hell annoying. Let me get a proper one. Arsenal, there would be a chance if the results go a certain way. Let's just put it that way. What the hell is Sky Sports? Screw off, dumbasses. If the results go a certain way, Arsenal could be sitting 6th in the table. That is the big issue for me. Arsenal at the moment are 4th because Aston Villa won the game. Drew the game. 1 point ahead. Now, if Villa won and they would be on 20 points, and Brighton won the game, they would be on 18 points, right? That would be the worst possible scenario for Arsenal. And Chelsea. If Chelsea win, they go above us, don't they? So that is also a big thing. If Chelsea win their game and Arsenal lose against Liverpool, in that regard, we could have been 6th. But at the moment, it cannot happen anymore, which is a good thing. The Brighton and Villa draws came in the most opportunistic moment you can imagine. Because imagine if we just... Imagine, Aston Villa wins, they sit on 20 points, right? Brighton win, they sit on 18 points. And Chelsea win their game, they would be sitting on 17 points with better goal difference than Arsenal in that regard. And Arsenal lose to Liverpool. We would be 6th in the table. We legit would be 6th in the table in those terms. That wouldn't be the greatest thing to happen before we go to play against Newcastle away. That wouldn't be. But the fact is that since Village has dropped points, Brighton has dropped points. It is very good for Arsenal in terms of being up there. Now it's up to Arsenal to actually show some cojones and go and get a result out of the game against Liverpool. Now it's up to Arsenal, because if we win, we are on 20 points. On 20 points, and we would be 3rd in the table. Only 1 point behind Liverpool and 3 points behind City. That is the best scenario you can imagine. The issue with all of this is, though, you never know what's gonna happen. For me, yesterday we were talking about it, I said 2-1 in hopes. With a hope that Arsenal will win the game. That is a stretch, for example, for me. But it is what it is. So, yeah. If Liverpool win, they go 1st in the table. If they draw, they stay 2nd. I think the draw for Arsenal in this instance is the worst result that could happen. Because we will let, in that instance, any other team get closer to us, which wouldn't be a great thing in general. So we'll see what's going to happen in that regard. Southampton are last, dead last, pretty much. Wolverhampton, I don't know what's going to happen with Wolves. They are absolutely shocking. They cannot buy a win to save their lives, which is very unfortunate for them. Palace and Glasner is on his last legs. If they lose, I think he could get sacked. Ipswich, yeah, no thank you. By the way, the Bournemouth-Ipswich game today, that was insane. The Bournemouth-Ipswich game today was absolutely nuts. Absolutely insane, the Bournemouth-Ipswich game. That was legitimately out of this world, that game. That was absolutely nuts. Bournemouth Ipswich game. Brentford Ipswich. Yeah, Brentford Ipswich. Sorry. I'm still hung up on Bournemouth game. Brentford. Yeah. Brentford Ipswich game. 2-0 Ipswich. 2-2 Brentford. 3-2 Brentford. 3-3 Ipswich scores, and then in the last seconds, Bournemouth. Frick's sake, Brentford score, and they win 4-3. That was absolutely insane game, to say the least, to be honest. What's happening? Still Fulham Everton, still 0-0. That is actually kind of nuts. How many goals did the Lap score, by the way? How many goals did the Lap score today? 1 or 2? How many did the Lap score today? How many has the Lap scored today? He scored 1. Did he assist as well? No, Ipswich. Yeah. No, he didn't. The Lap scored from Davis's assist, and that was about it. But the heartbreak for Ipswich against Brentford, I assume that was kind of insane. Because that genuinely was one of the rough ones. One of the rough ones. And by the way, speaking of Brentford, right? Visa scored today. No, Buemo scored today. Buemo scored 2 today. That for me would be the signing we should go for in January. As a backup for Bukayo Saka. That for me would be the signing. But has good ratio with a player. I'm telling you, to be honest, he comes from City Academy. So if he wasn't good, that would be actually kind of a surprise. That actually would be kind of a surprise. Because we have seen what has happened with Cole Palmer. Came from City, sold to Chelsea, and what he's doing at Chelsea is actually kind of insane. You would take Wissa? Yeah, I want Buemo at Arsenal. I would take Buemo at Arsenal. For me, Buemo for Arsenal is the answer. 9 games, 8 goals as well. You prefer Wissa over Buemo? Why? If I may ask, why Johan Wissa over Buemo? 6 games, 4 goals, 1 assist. 28 as well, not the youngest of the lads, you know. Not the youngest one. He's what, 28 million, so he's cheaper than Buemo. I'm not gonna lie. But at the same time... Yeah, and Buemo scored too. Yeah. Elisa, yeah, it's Wissa. Yeah, I get it. You corrected yourself. Wissa, I would take Buemo. Yeah, Wissa scored 2 as well. I would love to have Buemo at Arsenal. 25 years old, can play right wing / center forward, striker. He can be a backup for Saka, be at striker as well. He's short, quick, with good press, good engine on him. I think he actually could be doing very well at Arsenal in that regard. I think he's one of those players I think many Arsenal fans wouldn't be against having. That was just my suggestion. That for me, if we cannot sign, I don't know who. If we don't go for Kudus, since we didn't go for Elise as well, and players like that, signing Brian Buemo actually wouldn't be the worst. I think that actually could be a very decent and very rock solid signing. Premier League proven. We know what he's all about. He can score. He can dribble. He can pass. He's having a well of a season as well at the moment, especially with he stepped up last season with Tony being out. So. That also played a big part, I think, in his development. My camera again is doing a madness. That also played a big part in his development in general. So definitely that could be a very good thing. He's hardworking. What about Jared Bowen as well for Trossard replacement? Bowen, right? So English first, right? Best player at at West Ham, right? So another 150 million or 105 million. It would be the same issue. That is for me the big thing. That would be the same issue. It would be hella expensive to get a Premier League proven right/left wing who can play also as a striker from West Ham, who we already have issues with trying to sign Declan Rice. That already would be a big issue, in my opinion at least. I don't think there would be much. I don't think Arsenal would want to do much business with West Ham. At least that's how I see it. For me, that thing is actually a bit different. Jared Bowen, 27. 8 games, 2 goals, 2 assists. Not too bad. 21 million signed. He's at the moment 50 million euros, which means West Ham would ask about 80, 90 million 100%. The thing is though, for 80, 90 million you can get Eze and someone else. You can get Kudus and someone else. You can get Mbuemo and someone else. That English Premier League tax, especially trying to sign arguably the best player that West Ham has, would be very, very expensive. We already saw it with Declan Rice. So that could be very, very, very unfortunistic for Arsenal in this instance. Exactly. Gyökeres release clauses is 80 million. Exactly. I think that would be the same price for Bowen, more or less. Sorry. It would be very similar price, more or less. Unless they ask like 60, but even though 60 for me is too much. And Bowen is that type of player who even is also a captain, by the way, for West Ham. Which means he has established himself to such a level that starting from the bench would not be a thing for him. Especially if we sign him as a backup for Bukayo Saka, it would be very, very bad for him. See? According to Transfermarkt, by the way, he plays predominantly on right wing / striker. Well, number 9, right? So he doesn't play too much on the left, which means he cannot also even play there. Well, he could if Arteta tried to shoehorn him in that position. That is the thing. He doesn't play there much. That is for me the biggest issue. He would take Martinelli's place. Yeah, true, but the issue for me is that he doesn't play there too much. That for me is the big thing. He hasn't played there at all, pretty much. He plays there on occasion, but he doesn't play there too much. That for me is the big question, how it could work and how would it work even at Arsenal. I know we all know that Arteta has tried to replace Martinelli for 2.5 years now. He trying to sign, what's its face? Mudryk, Nico Williams, and someone else. Obviously, we got the opportunity to sign Trossard. It has worked actually pretty darn well. If Arteta knew how to use Trossard properly, that would have been even more excellent. Even despite that, he's doing a very good job. So, it's not a secret that Arteta has tried to sign a replacement for Martinelli. On top of that, my theory is that if Arteta wanted to sign a big forward, I think Martinelli is the one he would care the least if he had to sell him. Saka is his love child, he's not selling him. Havertz the donkey is his adopted second son, so he definitely doesn't need to sell him. He won't sell him, so obviously it only could be Martinelli. It only generally could be Martinelli, in my opinion. I know it sounds weird, but that could be the case. Mazraoui doesn't play at attacking. Well, that's the thing. At Ajax, he has played there. And that's why Ten Hag played him as a number 10. When he was at Ajax, on occasions, he played there for Ajax, for him. So that is kind of a bit different. Although Mazraoui predominantly is a right back. That is also the case. And also, to be honest, Arteta loves a right-footed player on the left side. Even though they cut in and everything, but at the same time, yeah, it is what it is. Arteta loves a right-footed player on the left side. So in that instance, it actually kind of works. The question is, will Kroenke is like sign off about nearly 80 million to sign Jared Bowen? I kind of don't think so. That for me is the big thing. Especially, I think we will have to wait till the end of the season to see where we stand on all of this. Because I think Kroenkes are somewhat taking a step back and they want to see what Arteta is doing and will do with the team he has at the moment. To try maybe and think about everything in terms of what money they would give him. Would they sign off to a certain player? And if it comes to the worst, would they even suggest sacking him? If Arsenal just say finish 5th or 6th, they fall out of Champions League and every Champions League spot and everything. What would they do? How it could go? Obviously, I think Kroenke is kind of are taking a step back, and this last summer was the first step. I think that since they had given him about 700 million, and they have only bought without selling too much. I think they took a step back and said you can sign unless you won't sign anyone unless you sell. And I think in that regard, we finished with a net profit this summer, and I think Edu's job could be a bit on the line, and after that it could be Arteta's if it starts to fall flat. It could be the case. It could be just conspiracy theory and everything, but it kind of starts to feel that way. Thomas Frank has been doing good work under the radar, could fit well at United. To be honest, yeah. Although, who said, wasn't it Thomas Frank who said this recently? Yes, it would be great coaching at Manchester United, but I wouldn't have as much fun as I'm having at the moment at Brentford or at my club coaching. Something like that. Didn't he say something like that, if I'm not mistaken? I think it was him, or was it someone else? It was a Premier League coach, I think. Real Madrid, well, yeah, El Clasico tonight as well, yeah. You are Vizca Barça? You are for Barcelona today, yeah? You're going for Barcelona. I can see that, but just for the sake of an argument, I'm gonna say 2-1 Real Madrid. I know it sounds weird with the way Madrid are playing, their recent results, losing to Lille, struggling at many times in attack and all that crap. I know that, but I think that Real Madrid will kind of be up for this game. I know that also Barcelona has scored about 38 goals in 13 or something odd games. They're scoring 3 on average, so that will be very interesting to see. Let's see what happens. I'm going 2-1 Real Madrid. I don't know why, but I'm just going for Real Madrid. Obviously, the logic dictates that Barcelona will win given their form and everything, but the game is at Bernabeu and everything. You cannot ever write off Real Madrid, let's be real. So I'm kind of thinking maybe 2-1 Real Madrid. 3-2 Barca, I have a 5. How much you win if this comes to tuition? How much you win? 5 on 3-2 Barcelona. Barcelona could be about what, 2.3? 3-2 predicted score about what, 1-15, 45, what, 250, something like that. Oh, sorry, 180 to 250, 200, right? If you have a 5 on it, or you're a 5 with a friend on it. That's also a big difference. I'm just speaking betting terms. I instantly started to think about. You have 3-2 on Barca. How much you get in return if basically Barca win 3-2, sorry. How much you get? Yeah, it's like 190. Yeah, so I was right. Yeah. I think Barcelona was 2.3, 2.4 to win, while Real Madrid was 1.6 for some weird goddamn reason the last time I checked. And 3-2 is like, what multiplier, like 12 or something like that. Something like that. And so I think so. Or 15 was it even? I think it was 15. Yeah, it was something between. Yeah. So it comes. Yeah. So it could be something like 180 to 200. Yeah. I actually have an issue. I put a 5er, right, on this weekend's games. On today's games, by the way. On today's games. On all of these games. Put a 5er. And only game that I didn't put on Brighton Wolves. I put on Villa, Brentford, City, and Fulham. Right? Fulham at the moment are winning, so good for me in that regard. Iwobi scored from Emil Smith-Rowe. Ex-Arsenal B team winning. Come on. And if it all would have come to life, if it all would have fulfilled, it would have been what? About 560, something like that. And goddamn Villa let me down. Goddamn Villa, you know. Anyways, I just randomly decided, I just felt like putting one on today, and I just did it, and it kind of screwed me over, but it is what it is. But yeah, apparently, where were we? Sam C, right? He was talking about things. He was speaking on Arsenal, allegedly that Saka is gonna play. I understand completed, but not all. Arsenal training sessions this week. So very interesting. Let's see what Arsenal news channels are saying. Arsenal's news channels. Arsenal remain the only team to prevent Wolves from scoring in the Premier League this season after the first 9 match weeks. What a record for Arsenal. Does that give us a trophy? Oh, god damn. Mikel Arteta on if young players can play without fear in big games. Yes, for sure. That's certainly something that they don't feel much, especially those two, Wanyeri and Skelly. That's something really positive. It brings the crowd together. Oh, basically it's the waffle. So how about you play them tomorrow then, huh? Will you play them tomorrow? Probably not. That is a big issue. Probably not. They are there, and yeah, Arteta spoke about this yesterday. The biggest waffle I've ever seen. So normally I prefer to go to bed with a lineup in my head so I can sleep like a baby. Oh my goodness gracious. These comments, what Mikel says in interviews, right, is very, very questionable. Let's just say it like that. A goal made in Haaland, yes, yeah. Sam Mogbel, Mikel Arteta, more often than not, will schedule a separate gym slots for his players to ensure their sessions don't clash with other Arsenal teams, including the women. Okay, cool for him. Mikel Arteta often officially names his starting 11 on the morning of a game. The Spaniard does this to ensure that the players stay on their toes, and so there is no complacency. What the hell is that? What am I reading at the moment? Oh my god. Coaching. wait. What are you laughing at? Wait, hold on. Timber and Saka link up White in the middle and Skelly on the left. The Timber, Saka. Dude, if Timber plays, it could be very good. Against Diaz, I think we need someone like him for sure. You about the sleeping like a baby comment or something like that? Coaching staff at multiple Premier League sites have revealed to Mail Sport that they no longer pay any attention to Mikel Arteta's updates. The other coaches have cottoned on to this. What? Coaching staff at multiple Premier League sites have revealed Mail Sport that they no longer pay any attention to Mikel Arteta updates. What does that even mean? Like, wait, hold up. What does that even mean? Coaching staff at multiple Premier League sides have revealed to me that they no longer pay any attention to Mikel Arteta's updates. Oh, I get it now. I get it. He just, well, deceives everyone. Let's just say that. At around 10:30 p.m. on October 10th, Bukayo messaged on the England's dressing room after his injury versus Greece. The wing informed the medic that the hamstring injury has just suffered was not serious. Like, who cares? Just if is he gonna play or not? This is how Arsenal are training, by the way. This is how serious Arsenal are preparing for Liverpool game. Just saying. Riding each other. Like, hold on, pause. That didn't come out right. Piggybacks. They're basically playing piggybacks there. Holy crap, that came out wrong. If Declan Rice features against Liverpool, he will make his 250th Premier League appearance. It would make him the 6th youngest player to reach the milestone, 25 years, blah blah blah, and the youngest since Raheem Sterling. Oh my goodness. Martin Odegaard, I've been out a few weeks now and have been working hard to get back as soon as possible. I feel like it's close now, so maybe soon he will be back. Well, hopefully. Definitely need him, as weird as it sounds, huh? I have that lineup that will make you sleep. Well, rested Timber and Saka, and it backfired, so they'll lie the injured. These dark cards, man. These dark cards need to stop. It's like a new buzzword every transfer window, you know? Or like, he's interested, on fire, and monitoring, and aura, and all that crap. All these buzzwords, and now it's dark cards. Raya, Timber, White, Gabriel, Skelly, Partey, Rice, Ranieri, Martinelli, Havertz, and Saka. Not gonna lie, that Skelly versus Salah situation really bothers me. I'm not sure what would be better, playing Timber as a left back and White as a right back and Kivior as a center back, so we have somewhat good wing backs to deal with their wingers in Salah and Diaz. On top of that, Timber is right-footed, which means once inevitably Salah is gonna cut in on his left, Timber has his strong right foot to instantly initiate a tackle. We saw that 2 years ago when Arteta played Tomiyasu at right back, and it completely shut Salah down. I'm not sure if that is the case, but it could also work. Gabriel is used to covering the left, to be honest, it's true. The thing is, against Salah, it's a very different story. It's different when you have to cover your right, the left side against Anthony, a fidget spinner who costs 100 million, or you have to do it against Salah, though. If Skelly gets cooked, Gabriel will cover him, as he always does, baby. Could be the case. The question is, can Can he do that plus focus on Gakpo running down the middle, or Nunez running down the middle, or Gravenberch running in between the lines, or Zoboslai or someone like that? With Liverpool, it's a bit different. It's not like you're playing against I don't know, like a B-Tech team. How good it is being Arsenal's number one is the best thing in the world, I think. This sounds typical, but since I came to England when I was 16, I signed for Blackburn. Arsenal was one of the first teams that I looked up to when I was young. How comes everyone is looking up at Arsenal when they are youngsters? Like, all of a sudden, everyone, every single thing. It's same as Endrick from Real Madrid said that he likes how Bobby Charlton used to play, or something like that. Dude, you weren't even alive. His dad wasn't even alive when Bobby Charlton played. Calm down. Gagby along Bonlachor, I cannot even pronounce that. I think Arsenal got a big problem with Gabriel Jesus. They need Gabriel Jesus up to form, especially with your little injuries to Martin Odegaard and to Bukayo Saka. He needs to step up. We've been saying that for the last 2 years, but he's always injured, and his right knee is giving out every single time he tries to drive a car. He presses on a pedal too hard and breaks a kneecap or a toe or something like that, and all of a sudden he needs a surgery. It is what it is, I guess. But yeah, nothing special in Arsenal news today, which is very interesting. I assume tomorrow the leaks and speculations will come out. It was similar like it was, when was it? Like a month ago, when during nighttime I was like not sleeping still. It was 1 a.m. and all of a sudden my Twitter feed, my WhatsApp groups where I'm in and everything started to say, oh my god, Jesus is injured. It was just a rumor at the time. I go to sleep, I kind of let sit on it. Tomorrow, wake up, 10 a.m., everything all cool, having a coffee, turn on news, Jesus out for 2-3 weeks. I don't want to see that ever again. Just I hope it doesn't happen too often with Arsenal, but knowing Arsenal, obviously you never... Whoa, wrong picture. Never really know. What did I just turn on? Never really know. But yeah, I think on that note I'm gonna end it here. The game is tomorrow, so tomorrow after the game, I would assume I will have to make time to make a match review, review, reaction and all that stuff 100%. Jesus should just sit in the pen area. He's being used wrong. He's injured all the time because of the running he has to do. He should have played on the shoulder of the last man like Fernando. He cannot do what Fernando Torres does. Havertz can do what Fernando Torres does. Gyökeres can do what Fernando Torres does. Jesus, no chance in hell he can do it. To be a player like Fernando Torres, and I'm speaking about Liverpool Torres, not Chelsea Torres here, he needs to know how to finish on consistent basis with both feet. And he cannot do it consistently with either of those. And yes, he can maybe dribble past one, he can drop a shoulder, he can maybe use a skill to send someone down the river and everything, but overall it's not for him as well. I still believe his best position is being a winger. The thing is though, his position as a winger is to be a winger, not to do what Arteta asks for him to do, is to track back and play right wing back when we're defending. If he plays like an old school right winger who runs down from the center circle type of center line up until opponent's box and then cuts in, dribbles past, all good. But as soon as he has to play at his own corner flag and help Raya defend and Saliba defend and White defend, no thanks. That's why I think it's not working for him as well. He's like Adama Traore. Adama Traore and Jesus on the wings would sort of, to be honest, one side would have some skill in Jesus, who overholds the ball, to be honest. Other side would have pace, strength, and just hit and pray type of situation. By the way, just saying, he is a baby oil merchant. I'm not saying it's a Didi type of situation, but the way he's greased up in that baby oil, Adama Traore, right? It is a bit yikes, so defenders cannot catch him. He has admitted himself, but that already is a bit different. Just saying, just putting it out there. Anyways, I think on that note, sorry, I'm gonna end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. You have been freaking fantastic. Tomorrow, holy moly, my cough is coming back. Tomorrow is the big one, Arsenal versus Liverpool. Hopefully we can get the result. I want to see aggressive and attacking Arsenal. I don't want to see someone park the bus and pray, basically. But let's see what Arteta does and everything. Let's just hope we can do something tomorrow. Genuinely, we can do something tomorrow. Because at the moment it is a 50-50 shot for me, not gonna lie. But I'm still sticking to 2-1 with hope that Arsenal will win. I don't want to predict that Arsenal will lose. I could say that Arsenal will draw, but for me it will be either or. Either we will win, either will we lose. I don't see a draw happening in this game. So I'd much rather put it on Arsenal to win. I'm going with my heart here. 2-1 Arsenal win. If I was with my brain, it would be completely opposite story. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. You have been freaking fantastic. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. See you all tomorrow after the game, because then it could be quite wild. Obviously, depending on result. If it's like a 7-0, how United destroyed, how Liverpool destroyed United. Oh my goodness gracious! I don't want to see that. Genuinely. Anyways, that was a random thing to say. I didn't want to even say that, but I know why I say it. Anyways, I'm all over the place. It's tired. I'm late. It's late. I'm tired already. I'm very sorry. It's past 9 p.m. I need to run to the shops to buy some food. So take care. Stay safe. Enjoy football. See you all tomorrow. And have a nice